You see, I'm not going to cut around the bush today. Before we're going to go in and do our usual stream, we need to look at this right away. Yesterday, EU signs a new gas deal as fears grow over Russian supplies cutoff. Now, that was yesterday, right? So now, 2 hours ago, this is hot. 2 hours ago, we got exclusive. Now, I don't know if this is true. I do not know if this is true. But we got here, this is Reuters, right? Usually, at least, they lie less than the others. Russia Gazprom tells Europe gas halt beyond its control. They cannot control it. Because that fella there, he didn't do what he was supposed to do. Anyway, so Gazprom has told customers in Europe it cannot guarantee gas supplies because of extraordinary circumstances, according to a letter seen by Reuters. I don't know. The final word hasn't been spoken yet. Now, that's for sure. But first of all, we need to get this little show going, and I think it goes a little something like this. I want to welcome you to Crypto Never Sleeps. And in case you're new to this channel and you want to stay on top of the crypto world, well then do me a favor. Hit like, smash, subscribe, so that you can be notified every time we upload new videos. So that you can, this is important to me, protect your wealth, preserve your wealth, and ultimately increase your wealth. My name is Nico Harachi, and I'm the host of this little show. Anyway, the first things first, we are going to go in and have a look at the level of market manipulation. And we're looking at the 15 minutes. We're looking at Bitcoin's up 2.9%. Look at that. Look at that. We got Ethereum up 9.2%. So here we go. Ethereum up. It's nice to see, right? It's nice to see. The future of finance is being built right in front of our eyes, and it's being built on the blockchain. Now, funny enough, I'm a big believer in the 7-day moving average, and we're looking at the weekly charts. I'm the only channel that is doing this. I'm the only channel that is so stupid doing that. But what we're seeing here, look at it. Look at it. It has actually gone through. It actually did close above the 7-day moving average, right? Look at this. This is the new week over, but this was last week, right? So this is positive. Now the question is that we all want to know: is this just a little, is this just a dead cat bounce, or is it what do you call it, a bear party? I don't know. Let's look at Bitcoin. We're also looking at the weekly. You see, there's a difference, and this is up for debate, right? Obviously, the blue that we have here is the new week, so we don't know where that's going to end. If you can see that Bitcoin's candle last week, yesterday, did not go above the 7-day moving average. And you see, there's always this debate. Who's the most dominant player? Is it Bitcoin or is it Ethereum? And honestly, if you know me, you know what I believe and think. And I have to say it again and say it with me. The future of finance is being built right in front of our eyes, and it's being built on the blockchain, and it's being built on Ethereum. But not many people believed me or, were, the same conviction as I. So let's have a quick look here at the coin market cap, and this is also what I like to point out. Now we have gone through the 1 trillion again, and of course that is that's lovely when this happens, right? Well, we are seeing here, and we're seeing Bitcoin dominance 41% and Ethereum 18%. I have said this a few times, and I believe that's a lie. Why do I say it's a lie? Because Bitcoin is Bitcoin. Ethereum. And there are other people now, slowly saying and acknowledging that. That is that Ethereum is so much more, right? Everything that's built on Ethereum. Let it be the permission blockchain of Quorum, right? Which I believe is going to be the foundation of the CBDC, the future monetary system. Let it just be, the Binance chain is basically connected to the Ethereum base layer main chain. And Cardano not, that's for sure, but it is going to be interoperable, right? As with Polkadot. But we know Polygon Matic, layer 2, built on Ethereum. Polkadot not, we know that too, but it's going to be interoperable. Uniswap's very much built on top of Ethereum, right? Chainlink very much built on ERC20, right? So Filecoin very much, Aave very much. And all I'm trying to point out is that I don't believe that the dominance of 18% Ethereum, I think it's too little. And that is why when we now go back to, I'm a specialist when it comes to technical analysis. But anyway, it is interesting to see that we have broken through. Now, as I've always, now it's not really, could we be heading up? Perhaps we've gone through it, right? Let the trend be your friend, and we need to look at it. But on the other hand, Bitcoin is perhaps still more dominant because people believe. You see, when new investors are coming into the blockchain space, cryptocurrency space, right? They hear about Bitcoin. It takes them a while to hear about Ethereum. It goddamn takes them even longer to hear about Cardano and Polkadot. So let's see, and if that even has any meaning, this 7-day moving average on the weekly. But it has for quite a while. I also wanted to let you guys know, if you're interested in short-term, I wouldn't say trading. I don't like short-term trading. I'm not a big fan of leverage trading. But if you want to learn it and you want to understand how are the prices coming together, who is making the market, who is providing liquidity, who is manipulating the market, as I'm always talking about, right? Obviously, the market is being made by the market makers. If you want to learn, and there's only one ultimate teacher that really doesn't deserve to be number one, because he doesn't say when to sell or when to buy, as I do. But he is for sure the second best out there. Go say hello to Tino.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a conversation.
I won't take too much of your time with these coins because there's so much going on in the real world, and the future of finance is on its way conquering mass adoption. So let's just Thorchain Rune. I mean, this is a winner. Don't underestimate the power of Thorchain Rune. Reason being, this could potentially be the only ecosystem, the only blockchain, the way you and I, we can trade our coins crisscross across the universe of blockchains without KYC. Now, if that's going to be true, I can tell you, brothers and sisters, this will be a one-way ticket to the moon. One-way ticket to the moon. I've always said, I don't speak a lot about it, but Rune is my secret sauce. IOTA is good. We gotta make an update on that. I'm going to talk about a little bit much more about JP Morgan. The reason being is, remember, it is my mission, try to share at least what I have learned in my life as an investor. And if there's one thing I have learned, that is that don't ever believe mainstream. Not only don't believe mainstream, don't believe the big banks, right? And I want to try to share a little bit of JP Morgan's. I found some examples that can actually kind of relate, where perhaps you can relate to what I say. Don't believe mainstream and don't believe the big banks. Now, obviously, there's also some crypto news we should go through and so on. I don't know if we have time for that. And if we don't, then we just speak about that tomorrow. First of all, it is also important to say, a lot of you guys, you always ask me, when is the right time to buy? When is the right time to sell? Now, obviously, I don't have a magic ball, and obviously, I don't know, the people behind the curtain that might control it, the manipulators. I don't know. But one thing that I do understand is that is the psychology of the market. And as Tino also always says, greed and human behavior never changes. So you just, Tino, he looks at a chart. So does Crypto Savvy. So does Sister Shelly. She doesn't understand a lot. And I am the guy who I don't need to look at charts. I look through the news. I look through at what is actually going on in the world. So that's why I want to feed you through JP Morgan. But right before that, there's just one slide here. This is Goldman Sachs, right? So the CEO, David Solomon, he says, inflation is deeply entrenched in the global economy, and it's unclear whether the situation will improve later this year. We see inflation deeply entrenched in the economy, and what's unusual about this particular period is that both demand and supply are being affected by events, namely the pandemic and the war on Ukraine. As central banks around the world continue to tighten financial conditions to combat inflation, already volatile markets across asset classes, will remain choppy. So what I'm saying is here, now we are seeing the big banks, and that will be obviously translated from the mainstream media, that things are scary. Things are scary. And remember, even if you know the Wyckoff model, right? We have to go against the trend. You see, I do believe that the market has been beaten down. It has been beaten down. We might see a step further down. We might not. But I do believe, because if we scroll on to what the biggest bank in America said, JP Morgan and Bob Dimon here, this is, I think it's 3 days ago. No, July 14, 4 days ago. So this was CNN. They were saying Jamie Dimon battens down the hatches for recession. Now, I didn't really know what battens down the hatches means, but it basically means prepare for the worst. Okay. Now, it wasn't only CNN. There was, JP Morgan suspends buybacks, warns on global economy as profit slums, right? So here we go, that Jamie Dimon here stuck a cautious note on the global economy as America's largest bank reported a worse than expected 28% fall in quarterly profit and suspended share buybacks in the face of growing risks of a recession. Now, the way that I hope I read it right? That sounds scary, sounds bad. I mean, besides the fact that, just look at this, they had an 28% fall in quarterly profit. So they were still profitable. Thank the good Lord. Thank the good Lord that it was still. But it just, and it sounds worse. I mean, they could have also written it differently, right? They could have written it, we made so many billions profit. No. JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon struck a cautious note on the global economy as America's largest bank reported a worse than expected 28% fall in quarterly profits and suspended share buybacks in the face of growing risks. Anyway, so it is a little bit about reading between the lines. Yeah. But what he does say, and that is, we cannot ignore that. The chief executive also stressed the need to build capital reserves, which you should do yourself. Have some coins in the right pocket, in the back pocket, and in the left pocket. While flagging a number of concerns, including the war in Ukraine, high inflation, and the never before seen quantitative tightening as threats to global economic growth. I want to stop here for a second, because remember what you and I, we did yesterday? You and I yesterday, we were looking at the protest tracker, right? So we were actually seeing, we're not going to look at that today, but we were looking at yesterday how many protests there are going around the world. And there are many. The mainstream media is not really talking about it, right? And then you would think, why is JP Morgan only, it is a negative statement, but only talking about things that the mainstream media is plastering into our heads fucking 24/7. Why doesn't he say that it is worrying that we are seeing across the board, across the globe, we are seeing demonstrations? That's a real scary thing, right? Anyway, that's food for thought. Think about it. Because why am I trying to point this out? I'm trying to say there's a pattern in what the big banks and mainstream media want to sell us, and we have to try to act against it. Anyway, so we see worse than expected, but there are some concerns, and we got to take that into account. I do want to, however, this is not a proof, but it's a coincidence, right? June 24th, 2022, this year, it was JP Morgan came out, and JP Morgan sees, this was not Jamie Dimon, but it was JP Morgan. JP Morgan sees portfolio rebalancing lifting US stocks 7% next week. So what will a little, a new investor do? Or when I was young, I would think that sounds fucking lovely, right? Let's go in. Let's go, 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 go. So I just wanted to show you that you can see here on the orange, this is when, it was a Friday. That's when they came out and said they rebalancing, and they will, think 7% next week. Exactly a week later, it didn't go up 7%. In fact, the market was down 1.5% lower. Now, this is just an example that don't trust the big banks. It's almost like, do the opposite. But now I want to get to one of the main points. Perhaps you do know that Jamie Dimon, I like to call him Bob Dimon, Billy Bob Dimon. And this is, I've taken this is back from 2017 in September. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon says Bitcoin is a fraud that will eventually blow up. Again, now you tell me, right? When he says Bitcoin, and until basically a year ago, everyone were like saying, no, JP Morgan, they don't like the blockchain. They don't like Bitcoin. And in a sense, that was correct. He did not like the Bitcoin. Perhaps he still doesn't do. He has retraced that statement. But you and I, and normal people, we would, when we think about Bitcoin, we think about cryptocurrency, we think about Ethereum, we think about Cardano, we think, for that matter, Polkadot, and we also think about a dozen of shit coins, right? For us, or for the normal investor, it's more or less the same. However, so for long, it was like JP Morgan and every YouTube content provider was like, Jamie Dimon doesn't like. No, he loves the blockchain and he understands what it's about. So remember here, 2017, this is when it was spread across the board that Bitcoin is shit. Basically, cryptocurrencies, it won't come. However, it is interesting to know that the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance was launched prior to that. It was launched, or at least we got this statement from February 2017, right? So that's like kind of 7 months or whatever, 6 months prior to him saying negativity about Bitcoin. So in 27, it's going to get worse than this. So in February 27th, we got the birth or the announcement of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. And as you can see here, what are they? What was the statement? The world's most advanced enterprise and startup blockchain innovators have formed an alliance to build, promote, and broadly support Ethereum-based technology best practices, standards, and a reference architecture. The Enterprise Ethereum Alliance seeks to augment Ethereum, enabling it to serve as an enterprise-grade technology with research and development focused on privacy, confidentiality, scalability perhaps, and security. EEA, right? Enterprise Ethereum Alliance will also investigate hybrid architectures that span both permissioned and public Ethereum networks. Now, public, we all understand, but do you understand permissioned? Not really. Maybe you do now, but that's basically just calling it a private blockchain. Anyway, so the founding members has been Accenture, one of the biggest accounting firms in the world, Banco Santander, the biggest bank in Europe, Block Apps, BNY Mellon, CME Group, one of the biggest commodity trading groups, Consensus, right? Consensus was not big at the time, but it's big now. IC3, I don't know who they are, probably big. Intel, JP Morgan, Microsoft. Additional founding members include, I'm not going to say them all, but some of the big ones, British Petroleum, Credit Suisse, Fubon Financials, ING. We got Tendermint, Thomson Reuters, UBS, and a few others, right? So he was pretty early, but trust me, he's been way earlier than that. Way earlier. Anyway, today, JP Morgan, this year, I don't know if it's 21 or 22, but they have obviously their own in-house permission blockchain called Quorum. We will move on to that in a second. So built on Quorum, they already have Onyx, and they have this blockchain interconnecting payment system, which is called Link, not like Chainlink, but Link. And you can see already now, you can go here on Onyx by JP Morgan. You can see the more than half of the world's largest banks have signed up to join the new paradigm using blockchain technology to simplify payment-related information exchange. And you can go in for yourself and you can really see the participating banks. We don't have time for that, but there are a lot of them. 25 plus of the world's leading banks, 400 plus leading institutions, and across 38 countries. Maybe I should move it here so I can look you more in the eyes and give you a little kissy. So, but what is both Link built on, and what I also believe that, the future of the future CBDCs are going to be built on, they're going to be built on Ethereum, but a permissioned network on top of Ethereum, which is called Quorum. So what is Quorum, right? So it's a permissioned layer on top of Ethereum. Quorum is a private blockchain platform that was created as a soft fork from Ethereum in 2016. 2016, I mean, they were early. Besides the fact it was actually Quorum, I think, was even, they were already on it in 2014. Anyway, so in 2016, as JP Morgan Chase, one of the largest financial organizations in the world. And then they go on here down. Quorum is an open source project any developer can contribute to. It's based on one of the original implementations of Ethereum, Go Ethereum. However, companies can create their own protected private networks on Quorum, a feature that is of critical importance to most enterprises. So being based on Ethereum, Quorum enjoys many of the advantages that come with Ethereum's popularity and wide adoption. For example, the language used for smart contract development on Quorum is Solidity. I mean, nobody knew Solidity at the time. There might come more now, but sure would be easier if you could do CC+ or Java, right? So, but anyway, Solidity is the programming language if you want to program anything on the Ethereum blockchain. So since many blockchain developers are already familiar with Solidity, a company implementing Quorum will not have a lack of programming skills to access. No, a lot of new programs had to learn, even though Ethereum has the largest number of developers. So, and what they're saying already at that time, this is an old article, another advantage that comes from being based on Ethereum is tokenization. Similar to other private blockchains, Quorum lets businesses create their own tokens and coins. The tokens and coins based on Quorum are automatically compatible, interoperable with Ethereum's widely used token standard, the ERC-21. So, that was that about JP Morgan. They always lie, right? Lie. Anyway, no, I just wanna go here to you guys. So, it's not really time to chit or chat. I just wanted to point out that it is important that you always, don't believe basically mainstream. And I wouldn't say that there's nothing wrong with banks, right? They're private organizations like JP. I know they're public and so on, but their main goal is to make money, right? So if they can, misguide or mislead the average investor to do the opposite of what they want, that is benefiting their bottom line. Nothing wrong about that, right? We like democracy, we like democracy, and we like capitalism. So they're just a little bit smarter, but it's about identifying perhaps that everything they say is, you gotta, do your own research, just like you should when it comes to investing. You really need to do your own research. Don't believe me because I don't know shit about crypto. So here we are, a little bit of CBDC regulation. You gotta follow this Atlantic Council org tracker. I will share it today in the group, in the chat, chatty, because it is important that you yourself identify and look where we are going. Where is the future of the CBDC going? So here you go. And it's the whole world. That's another thing that you see. We are currently speaking a lot about political event. We're talking about, the NATO going against Russia, maybe the SCO. I mean, it all looks like it's gonna, we're all gonna, burn in hell. But when it comes to the financial system, when it comes to being able to operate on the blockchain, program individuals, they're fucking fine, friends. I mean, they're good like Sister Shelly and Brother Jamal. I mean, and that's also funny, right? Cutting them out of Swift and this and that, but in reality, everything is going to be crisscross, interoperable. Don't you worry about a thing. I mean that. Don't you worry about a thing. So what do we have here? The European Central Bank expects to complete the investigation phase of Digital Europe by autumn 2023. Right, next year. I really believe 2023 is going to be a year where we're really going to take off. And anyway, you can go in and read that. It's, ECB.Europe. The digital euro can only be successful if it becomes a part of everyday lives. They're just blah, 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 blah. But anyway, so what we're seeing here is that the investigation phase should be done by autumn 2023. That's actually the most important thing you need to take out of here. Now, let's go into some geopolitical news. Ukraine, Russia, and what goes with it. First, from the cryptocurrency side of things, is that the Russian government, Russia has decided that they will issue a stablecoin that will be based by palladium. And it's interesting, right? So they have, and it's a platform called Atomize. They've issued its first digital asset backed by palladium in collaboration with the local bank Rosbank. Rosbank is one of the biggest Russian banks. The platform obtained registration from the Bank of Russia in February 2022, becoming the country's first legal digital asset manager. So while both Atomize and Rosbank refer to the new investment product technically as the Palladium token, the product has characteristics of a stablecoin backed by precious metals. It's a smart thing. I'm also saying, I don't know really in the end what we need to believe, but that's a smart thing, right? Because they got a lot of palladium and it is important. And palladium, as far as I understand, it's not only like gold, right? Gold, you can't really use gold for anything except putting in your pockets, and then your pants fall off, and that's also not really fun. But I think palladium also has a utility when it comes to using it in, in batteries or something. So I think that's not a bad thing. So what else do we have? Coinbase obtained a crypto asset service provider approval from the Italian anti-money laundering regulator, or Garcimo, and that's also lovely. That's lots of love, lots of luck. No, it's good to see blockchain mass adoption across the board. But I want to get into what the news of the day, and this is really important. So before we go into Russia, because this is scary in a way, let's have a Bahama Mama moment. So, this is really breaking news. We all know that, let's just read it. Russia's Gazprom declares force majeure on some gas supplies to Europe. The letter from Gazprom said, which, and obviously if you do not know it, Gazprom has a monopoly on Russian gas exports by pipeline, and it's also obviously owned by, as they say, Putin and the Russian government. Anyway, what they're saying is that they cannot fulfill its supply obligations owing to extraordinary circumstances outside its control. And I don't know if you've heard it or you do not know what force majeure means, but whenever two countries, two partners, to invest, basically in every contract, when it comes to trading, when it comes to investing, even in your insurance policies, you go home, you buy a policy for your house or for your phone, for that matter, there will always be a clause called force majeure. And the force majeure clause is that when anything, basically anything unexpected happened, then it's force majeure, right? And force majeure can be many things. Like, for example, now I'm in Ukraine, right? If a bomb's gonna fall down here on my house, I'm not gonna get any money from insurance because that's just force majeure. In 2009, when I lost my hedge fund, I had more than $300 million inside. But god damn it, that was force majeure too. So there's a lot of force majeure going around in this world. Anyway, so a trading source said that the letter concerned suppliers through the Nordstream 1 pipeline, which is obviously the major supply pipeline to Europe. And just so we go in here, we can see here that these are the countries that this is Europe, and they're importing a lot of gas. And we can see, for example, Bulgaria, 75%. We can see Germany, which is the biggest, net importer of Russian gas, really dependent on it. They receive 66% of their overall energy consumption from Russia. And that's also why they were actually building a Nord Stream 2, but then they stopped that. Anyway, so it is a problem. Anyway, so the measure will likely escalate tensions between Russia and the West over the Russian invasion of Ukraine. And as you probably also hopefully know, the European Union imposed sanctions on Moscow in order to stop using Russian fossil fuels by 2027. But wants to supply, but they want the oil to continue to come for now as it's slowly shifting away from Russian supplies. So, what we're seeing now, Russian gas suppliers have dropped via major routes, including via Ukraine, obviously, and Belarus, and through Nord Stream 1 onto the Baltic Sea. So I want to take you, because I didn't have a lot of time actually to go through these articles, let's just try to read them, because I find it interesting, right? I just saw yesterday that this is what we saw yesterday. EU signed new gas deals, fierce growth over Russian supplies cut off. So I guess that Russia, they are like coming out now and saying, well, yeah, I mean, so you don't want our gas in a few years. Well, you know what? We'll just stop it right now. You don't worry about a thing. I don't know if this was yesterday that the EU did this. And let's just see. Russia has denied that it's using gas as a weapon against the West. However, supplies have fallen by more than 60% in recent weeks. Well, they did announced that there was going to be maintenance on the Nord Stream 1. So Nord Stream 1 is currently closed, supposed to open in 2 days. And that could trigger that the market will fall. So watch out. We gotta see. Are they gonna pump gas through the pipelines again? Market could go up. Are they not gonna do it? The market will fucking fall. And then, and that's, I should stop saying that F word, I don't know why I do that. I watch some comedy. Anyway, European Commission and Europe's energy chief were in Azerbaijan on Monday to finalize a deal. Okay, so from Azerbaijan, well, okay, Azerbaijan has some gas and oil. Yeah. Azerbaijan, with borders to Georgia, Turkey, Armenia, Russia, Iran, and the Caspian Sea, started exporting natural gas to Europe via the Trans-Adriatic pipeline at the end of 2020. So let's see how much they can supply and not. So we got this here, and this was as against Russia. Let's see. So what Russia has done until now is saying that they got some problems, and it's not their fault, and we will have to see. I have to give it 2 more days, and because I think we're running out of time. So if you want to go into this, all you got to do is scroll. The net Russian gas supply hold risks 1.5% cut to EU's GDP in worst case scenario. So we gotta have a look at that. Please, sharing is caring. We started again to give away. So please, in case you're new to this channel, then all you gotta have is a BUSD compatible wallet, and you gotta hit and smash and like and share and tell your mama about it and your dad and tokenize the whole house on the blockchain. No, I mean, I think you're very easy to participate, and since we are the littlest channel, great chances of actually winning. I just want to see, did we forget anything? I don't think so. So let's go and say goodbye. Bye. I wish you all the best. Take care. Stay strong. And remember, remember to stay strong. I will see you tomorrow